Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, knock, knock, knock. Let's see what the tea leaves have for you, Leo. Okay. Well, we have a large heart, which is pretty evident right here. And it, oops, let's knock some of it off. And it looks like it has a person kind of dancing on top of it. And so I think that this must be one of two things. Somebody is just kind of really kind of stomping, dancing across your heart, or you're just so happy and light-footed and just kind of, full of jovial merriment, that your heart is just kind of singing and dancing and truly full and enjoying. And I think that this is most likely the case because this heart looks so dense. The amount of tea leaves that we have here, and let me kind of just pull it this way, you can see there's a lot of tea leaves. And I don't know, I mean, I look at this figure and I think they look pretty happy. They look like their little robe or dress is kind of being blown around, kind of walking up the incline of this heart peak. And we also have this little heart right below. And that one is pretty perfect as well. So I think that this is really less likely a case of a broken or a stomped upon heart, and more likely a full, happy, joyful heart, emotional state of being, love, and just kind of, how should I say this? Love, but not necessarily just romantic. A feeling of success, fulfillment, ease, kind of, uninhibited, and really just enjoying life. And, that kind of makes sense. I also saw over here, we have this little tiny, to me, it looks like a llama or maybe some kind of pack animal. And immediately when I was looking at this bowl, I was thinking, I really think that there's going to be some kind of travel going on. And then I looked up here and I see this beautiful horse with the long, pretty tail. And then I knew definitely there's going to be some kind of movement, travel. I get the impression that there will be travel for pleasure, possibly, or maybe travel that will prove to be more pleasurable than you imagined. I think that you could be traveling for work, maybe going to see friends or family. Maybe it's a family trip. Or maybe you've just kind of been talked into going somewhere and you just kind of don't feel like going on any kind of trip. But I think that once you get moving, once you get out of your comfort zone, you're on the move, you reach your destination. I really do think this is going to be quite enjoyable. And not only enjoyable, I think that this is really going to be a source of deep inspiration, a lot of kind of emotional stirrings, kind of unwinding, you know. I mean, I guess that's often if this is a vacation. I don't know exactly if it's a vacation, but sometimes when we get out of our routines, out of the places that we know so well, the same things we see every single day, we allot ourselves some room to kind of just unwind, to let go of some of the stresses of our daily mundane life. And I think that that's really what's going to be going on here. I want to kind of let's look at this card for a second. I have the Knight of Wands. Okay, and this is definitely, as you can tell, very fire-centric. Definitely all about creativity, kind of a unification of the emotional and rational, logical thinking, but definitely channeled into a place of conception, creativity, ideas being formed, but not only just being formed, the planning and execution, the beginning stages of bringing these things into the material. So I really do think that as you are traveling, as you are being inspired, as your emotions are being kind of, brought to life a little bit, you're feeling some different things and experiencing some different things, maybe eating different kinds of food, listening to different kinds of music. You have to kind of release the perception of control that you have in your own environment when you are visiting others, when you're visiting new places. So, there's a lot more space and vulnerability that kind of, has to be. And so I do think that this is going to be a good trip as far as, coming into new projects, kind of in a gathering of maybe materials, maybe ideas, influences. I think that as you are traveling, as you are in this new place, this place you do not know, I get the impression that there could be moments, or at least a moment, where you come to a place that, I'm trying to think of the right word, a place that almost, it's unknown to you. And I think that you will arrive here by kind of a spontaneous act. This will be kind of a departure from your normal regimented, kind of planning a whole, day, everything, all the things you want to go see, all the things you want to do, where you want to eat, this kind of thing. And I think that you'll do something spontaneous, go somewhere without planning. I almost kind of think of like going down a corridor, a back alley, excuse me, and ending up in a place that kind of almost feels like uncanny. Maybe a place that really just kind of overtakes you, overtakes you with some kind. It's off-putting. It might kind of almost make you feel like you have anxiety. And I think that this could be because of maybe the layout or the architecture, but this could also almost be like a liminal space where, you know, we have like in our mind a relationship with certain kinds of spaces, and when we experience them out of that relationship or that like preconceived idea that we have of them, they become kind of eerie, almost like time is a little bit lost, a little bit surreal. And I guess like an example for this would be like, I mean, I think the popular one are like empty office spaces or malls that are empty. They're functional, you know, but they are empty. And you know, just kind of walking in these like empty corridors of corridors of a mall, and not seeing anybody, you know. So that can be kind of weird and off-putting, almost like you're the last person on earth. And I think that I get this impression that you will have an experience like this, and it will be uncomfortable, but I think that this could be really thought-provoking. And I would say if you can, if you could take pictures or maybe draw, sketch the area that you're in. I think of almost in my mind, as far as like an architecture that would cause this kind of anxiety, for me, it is kind of that brutalist style, which is that kind of Cold War, real large and just sharp angles. And, you know, you'll have to look it up. It's the brutalist architecture movement, and it's just kind of very gray feeling, right? Just kind of real cold, like there's no soul to it, or if there is a soul, it's like kind of a very a very kind of stern, stoic, you know, almost kind of like silently aggressive. And that for me gives me a lot of anxiety. I think of like a lot of like downtown areas, or I don't know, like financial districts. These kinds of places are at least, you know, used to be heavily influenced by this architecture. So I think it will be maybe not the best experience on your trip, but I think that this is something that you will notice, right? This is a place that you will feel like you've crossed over into a different, maybe sub-dimension, and maybe spend some time collecting your feelings, your thoughts, and like I said, maybe taking some pictures, writing about it, drawing. Let's see, what else do we have? You know, while you're on this trip, since we do have this heart, I wonder if, and actually, you know, as I'm looking at this one, I didn't really notice it. This one's kind of a heart too. This one looks like somebody's dancing on it. And this one, which was the horse, turned to the side, kind of looks like a heart, but somebody kind of running this way and then somebody kind of falling off the side. So I don't know, maybe this will be, you know, a trip to remember. Maybe there are multiple paths that could be traveled down. I think maybe, you know, gosh, vacations, trips, road trips, they always seem idyllic when we're planning them, but in practice, sometimes they can be some of the most stressful things we end up doing. So I would say, you know, just prepare yourself for some discomfort, but I think that the trip will only be a failure if you really cling to like the vision you have of it going. I think if you can like, of course, if you're going with your family, you have to have some kind of plan, right? If you're going by yourself, maybe you can be a little more like loosey-goosey with it. But when you're traveling with others, especially if you have children, you know, there's has to be plans and things like that. Some routine, you know, some agenda happening. But I think that if you just kind of let go of like, you know, being really attached to making certain moments really special, or even just like, I know this is a big thing now and I find myself doing it as well, but like making sure that you have so many perfect pictures and videos and, you know, all of your food is documented and whatever, you know, maybe letting go of some of that, take a couple pictures, but also be present, be in the moment. You know, I don't drink bottled water wherever you're going. That's a big thing for me, is whenever I travel and I am drinking, you know, tap water or even water from like restaurants and stuff, I have in the past gotten like stomach issues. So, I know it's not really the most, the most, sexy, advice that you can get about your traveling. But yeah, definitely be careful about like the things you're drinking and the things that you're eating as well. Just so you're not miserable half of the time. Okay. And let's see. I also see this person, they're wearing a robe or maybe a dress of some kind, and it looks like they're releasing a bird, or there's a bird kind of sitting on their arm/hand. You know, I when I'm seeing this, I'm thinking that this is going to be, not only is there a lot of like creative potency happening here, it almost feels like a release of some kind of old conflict, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you are going to visit family or going on a family trip with extended family. Or maybe going to somewhere that's really beautiful. You're gonna like let go of some of the stuff you're carrying, or maybe you're going on a retreat of some kind. But I really do think that there will be an opening for you to kind of intentionally work on letting go of some of, at least something that feels like a blockage. And I think honestly, if you are going on this trip and you let yourself get lost a little bit, and like I had said, doing some spontaneous things, maybe, you know, going off the daily agenda a little bit, taking some walks, being careful and mindful of your surroundings, right? But taking some walks and just kind of looking at what there is to see. I wonder if, you know, it will help you kind of de-stress, but also like experience some moments where you're not like, you know, clinging for life to all of these things that you're worrying about in your regular existence. I think sometimes, like for me, at the end of the day, I sometimes don't even realize like how wound up I am, how stressed out, how much anxiety I have, until I get into a shower and it's like really hot, and I get in there and I almost like, it's like it's like not necessarily a real pain, but it's like all of this stress and knots in like my body just are like, because I'm starting to relax and I'm realizing I'm like clenching my jaw and my back is really stiff. And, I feel like I've been trying so hard to not get too in my emotions and stay on task and, whatever. So I feel like while you're on this trip, it might be similar to this kind of phenomena where because you are released from your regular routine, I feel like you stay pretty, pretty devoted to, pretty loyal to that routine, committed, and just this deviation might really create like an understanding of how stressed out you might be underneath it all. You might, I don't know that you even know that you're super stressed, but I think you're going to let go of some of that. And maybe this will last and you'll take it home with you and you can kind of alter some of the stuff you're doing. Maybe find something in your schedule that you can sacrifice for a while so that you have a little more time to be leisurely, a little more time to rest, a little more time to get lost, in your local environment. Okay, let's see. And here I see like a really fancy looking J. I also, for some reason, think this looks like a bike, even though it really kind of doesn't, but it looks like a bike seat and kind of a curled up wheel, maybe. Let's see. I just think it really relates to like a carefree kind of feeling. I also think that maybe there's a J person in your life who really kind of emanates that whole energy, just being a little less committed to being super serious all the time, to adulting 24 hours a day. And seems like they're maybe a little more chill, a little more laid back, a little more easygoing and just accepting of, how things kind of play out. And we all have those people that we've known in our life or we are related to or whatever. And it's like almost kind of maddening, but you're also a little bit envious. And I feel like this could be a person for you, definitely a J person. So let's see, what else do we have here? This one I've been trying to decipher it. It kind of looks like a person holding, I keep thinking like a didgeridoo or some kind of, I don't know, like a tube of some kind. Paintbrush. It kind of looks like a paintbrush because it has this right here. And maybe painting is where you're going to be headed. And even more than that, I think just really being, the architect of your own existence. That's very general, but I think that this trip is really going to kind of refocus you. I think that I don't even know that this really, to me, it doesn't seem like this is going to be a huge trip. I don't think you're like planning to go to a different country necessarily and like spend, a few weeks and it's super involved or anything like that. It almost feels like this is going to be like a brief kind of reprieve. But I think that it's really going to kind of shake things up for you. And I really, with this Knight of Wands energy, I just think that you're going to come back just being kind of really on fire, having a lot of energy, and really ready to, get into it. And focus a little bit more on doing whatever it is that you find interesting and pleasurable and creative, or maybe a hobby, maybe a new business idea, something like this. Okay. Now, we have really kind of a little bit of emotional stuff going on here. Yeah, I wonder if while you're on your trip, if maybe somebody you're with or somebody who's back home that didn't come is really going to, they're not like sabotaging, but they really are kind of using the negative attention or negative behavior to get attention, even if it's negative attention. And I almost feel like you're going to just kind of maybe turn your phone off, stop answering calls, stop answering texts. And this is going to be, you know, a little stressful, but I think it's good to set boundaries, definitely, and not be available to people all the time, especially if you don't want to be. So, you know, aside from if this is your spouse or you have your child and somebody's checking in with them and checking in with you, you know, obviously you have to be available to these people. But, you know, anybody else, I would say that if you don't want to talk to them while you're gone, you know, I think that it's okay to really just set those boundaries. And, you know, might be a good time for you to take a little space for yourself. But I can't promise that it's not going to be it's not going to be a little dramatic at points. So, all right, Leo, I hope that you have a safe and fun trip. And hopefully, you know, you come back with some good stories. I would be so interested to know about this weird, uncanny space that you find. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, that helps me get into the algorithm and grow the channel. And we're doing pretty good. You know, we're little by little getting more people, and I literally appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so. You can hit that little bell button. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. I'm on a new schedule of doing 2 readings a day. And so that will be 1 reading, or each sign will be read once a week instead of every 12 days. So lots more readings, and you can watch your other position or your other placements. And so your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising. I know people watch their Venus. Other than that, leave a comment. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how you're doing. I love hearing from all of you. You're all so very sweet, and just kind of, you know, bring a lot of joy and just good feelings to my life. So I thank you, and I hope that I'm doing the same for you. So we will talk again very soon, Leo. Thank you, thank you, thank you.